What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Better Biomed. I want to show you guys a piece of nostalgia. It's going to bring some of you guys 20 some years in the past, and that's because I'm visiting BC Group and I have two of their catalogs here. One of them is one of their newer catalogs and one of them is one of their older catalogs. And just to see the transition of technology, you can see an example here on the screen. Some of the stuff that we have here is going to be oddly familiar with some of the stuff in this catalog. But seeing the transition of brands and models and their development over time to being these masterpieces that they are today, let's take you back. Let's flip through this catalog and I'll show you some pieces of your history. So this was absolutely fascinating. This catalog is not that big. You guys are familiar that BC Group, they release a catalog every single year so that you can flip through and see what you might need in test equipment. And this is year 2000, right? Year 2000. All right. We see some devices on this catalog that are going to just bring you guys way back. Biotech, we got a lot of DNI Nevada. How cool is that? Just amazing. And some of the devices haven't changed that much. I mean, some of the Dales are just the same as they used to be. But wow, some of these really bring me back because this is my history and it's probably a lot of you guys' history as well. We've got the test lungs, infamous oxygen analyzers. They haven't changed too much. We've got gas analyzers. The flow meters are the same. Trace analyzers. Now these guys they've changed a little bit. Now they have digital readouts. Let's see, flow meters. Got pressure meters. Look at that. That's a BC Group patient simulator, the Maxim 2000. Now, back when I got started, those were like the standard. Almost all the techs had one of those, and now to see, you used to have analog flip throughs, select what mode that you wanted. Now they have graphical user interface, and it's so much easier to navigate. But in some ways, I kind of like the old analog or the old switches, because you could look at it and you could know exactly what test you're on. It had a very tactile response. You know, and that's really the difference between older technicians and newer technicians. Is the older ones love that tactile feel of going through an old Decade box or an old temperature simulator. The newer guys, they're okay with the touch screens and the graphical interface. But some of these, look at this DNI patient sim up here. This has been the standard. Holy cow. How many people still have all the leads for this guy? It's this one in particular, like you might still have it for ECG, but all the other accessories and stuff are lost to time. Diathermy analyzer, wow. Holy cow. And I remember when this guy here was in a wooden box. So it used to be that when you were measuring your watts, it was in a wooden box and it would all seal back up. There's something about those. If I think I still have one at my shop, and I keep it. It still looks beautiful, and it probably is still accurate. I would put money on that. So a lot of the modern day ones have like scales, but those ones there, something about them just takes me back. This here was at the time the latest and greatest for patient simulators. That's the Bapco. As the size got smaller and smaller, you know, some of the features were deleted compared to some of the other ones, and you know, some of the later ones, they have all those features still. But look at that pulse ox simulator. Holy cow. I remember having a cart, and we had an entire cart just for touching patient monitors, and now we can do it in devices that are about that big. But yeah. Holy cow. Now, that actually does look pretty familiar. So that's that one actually in year 2000 was testing biphasics. Interesting. I thought we were still on monophasic back in 2000. That's the one that everybody knows, the Impulse 3000. But notice how it says DNI. So a lot of you younger folks don't know that Fluke bought out DNI and they took their device and rebranded them. But Dynatech Nevada was one of the companies that helped found this entire industry, just like BC Group. And that's why you're going to see a lot of DNI, BC Group stuff in this catalog. Holy cow. Look at those ESU analyzers. Analog meter. Holy cow. And you probably had to switch your loads manually. I do remember some of those back when I first got started in Biomed. Load resistors. You used to have to actually have load resistors for jigs in order to test certain ESUs. Pacemaker testers. Holy cow. Yeah, the Smart Cuff and Smart Arm NIBP analyzers, they were so big back in the day. Now we got them down to, really tiny. Blood pressure calibrator, holy cow. Now this PhotoTac I still see in many shops, still to this day. And I'm not saying they're accurate, I still see them. Laser analyzer, watt meter for lasers. Notice it's got all the different heads. You used to have to switch your head based on the type of laser that you were testing. I think some of the newer ones can do multiple wavelengths versus the old ones. You had a certain wavelength for a certain laser head. Okay, got some environmental monitors, event recorders. Oh, cool. Different test leads. Oh my gosh. The old HP oscilloscopes, that was probably really expensive too. Those oscopes were so expensive back in the day. Poor man's triad kit. That's good. Collimator light monitors, light field monitor. HV tanks. Wow, look at that. That dosimeter timer. That is crazy. Looking back on some of these devices. X-ray exposure meter. Now you think we got a little fob the size of a USB stick and we can stick it in the field and we can get all our results on one little device. It's crazy. Everybody is familiar with the Jensen Biomed toolkit. I don't know if that's changed very much over the years. They have had kind of a monopoly on that for a long time. And all our different cases. Holy cow. The infamous cart. And there we have it. Wow. That is from the year 2000, BC Group. Very cool stuff. Hope you guys like that trip down memory lane.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below with what you'd like to see in future videos.